president. The Iranian president who died, I think, 2-3 days ago. May his soul rest in peace. If we take that incident, for example, of course, one of the things that I found most embarrassing when the Iranian president died was that some people were firing fireworks in jubilation that he had been killed. So the question to ask is, at first sight, I mean, when I heard the story at about 4 a.m. on CNN or 4 or 5 a.m., I said, oh, maybe this guy had been killed. Maybe it was sabotage. But later, when I got to hear that it took 16 hours, to find his body, to access and find his body, I knew that the issue of maintenance probably came in, or maybe he shouldn't even have flown at all. Okay, so that's why in that light, we shouldn't play Russian roulette with our presidential jet. we don't want a dead president. No, I mean,
God forbid.
God forbid. Nobody wishes him dead in any manner, and therefore there might be a need to completely overhaul the fleet. If you're having the kind of, I'm not a pilot, so let me just get that clear, get that out of the way. But if you're having an incident where the president, and remember when they talk about the presidential jet, it's not just one jet. Okay, it's not just one jet, and I think that there's a need to get the overhaul, to do an overhaul of the system and make sure that the president can't fly private jets. There's security issues involved. I mean, let's be fair. The president neither can he fly commercial. And I don't agree with that. Some people have said so. I don't agree with that. We have a fleet. We should maintain it. However, since I'm a master of intrigues, since I'm somebody who looks beyond the ordinary, I hope nobody is setting the pace for us to have to buy a new jet for the president. Because giving politicians, I sometimes don't trust them. I hope that is not, I'm not accusing anybody of doing that, but I'd also have that at the back of my mind, that I hope that we are not being prepared, we are not being wired, we are not being softened up for acquisition of another aircraft. Which we can ill afford now as we speak. So let's see what the reps come up with, because I'm wondering why the reps suddenly picked up on this issue of the fact that at some point the president couldn't fly because there was a problem with the jet. So I'm hoping that it's not a ploy, like I said, by the politicians too. But all said and done, we must have a viral and viable presidential fleet. It's not something to joke with at all. It's a tragedy, very embarrassing tragedy, if anything should happen to the president. You wanted to ask me something?
Oh, no. Can I read some excerpts, from that story, just a few lines?
Yes, you can. Go ahead.
Sir.
Yes.
All right, sir. So it says the House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence has resolved to constitute a technical committee to address issues concerning the frequent malfunctioning of the presidential aircraft. The second paragraph says, on Monday, May 20, 2024, the committee met with the commander of the Presidential Air Fleet, Air Vice Marshal Olayinka Olushola, behind closed doors at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja, to deliberate on the circumstances that resulted in the use of a chartered plane by President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima recently. What you said. And it says that the president had flown in April in a chartered plane from the Netherlands to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to attend the World Economic Forum. He also says that a fortnight ago, the vice president cancelled his trip to the United States of America, where he was scheduled to represent the president at the 2024 US Africa.
That was an excuse because he didn't want a vacuum. Now, listen, Kofi, doesn't this thing sound odd? Who should be constituting an inquiry? The executive or the legislature? The presidency itself should have brought in experts to find out what's wrong. So I'm surprised that they hadn't done that, and the House of Reps just picks up the responsibility like that. There's more than meets the eye in this. If you have a fleet, really, whether it's a vehicle fleet, whatever, you have a problem with your tools or your machines or whatever, surely you would want to investigate and bring in experts. I don't think it's a House of Reps committee that should or would solve the problem, whether their committee is quote and unquote technical or not. I mean, for God's sake, you have a commander of whatever. All he needs to do is to write a report, bring in other experts, put a call through to why? What are you smiling about?
You know what you said, so it popped up there.
Oh, it popped up there.
It popped up. You know,
Yes.
so this is, I think, a reps member, Satomi,
Yes.
who is in the technical committee.
Yes.
He said that, quote, the committee has engaged the commandant of the presidential fleet, the NSA, and a lot has been discussed. Blah, 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 blah. He says, on whether the planes need to be fixed or replaced, the lawmaker said, quote, for now, we have not resolved on that.
Look, I find this thing a bit odd, and again, it goes back to what my good friend Ruben said, that sometimes when some spinning is going on, there's an assumption that people outside, don't have anything between their ears. It's a bit odd to me. Look, the truth is, okay, so there's a problem with the fleet. The president hasn't asked you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You haven't asked him what has he done. And surely the executive would know that there is a need. There is a need to get something done. I think that this is a spin. I think there's an element of spin in it, getting the legislature, because they are the ones who are going to have to approve the acquisition of a new jet. So it now looks as if the initiative is coming from them. This is politics. This is politics, Kofi. What if, like I said, if there's anything wrong with the jets, if there's a need, if the presidency had presented a bill to them, had presented with a report, back with a report that we want to buy a jet, and they now say that no, we want to have an independent report so we can know the authenticity of this demand, I would understand and appreciate that. But they are telling me that the reps sitting where they are want to set up some technical. How many of their members are specialists, if any? I mean, this is a spin.
You know these people so well.
Yeah, no, it's a spin. You can, if you sit back carefully and you work it out in your head.
you don't catch
We'll not be moving now. Which kind of spin be this?
How can they be crying more than they bereaved?
Yes, and apart from that, it's I don't want to go into argument into all these things, because some of these things are diversionary from the and before you know it now, that's what the social media will be arguing about for the next 2-3 days. And I'd like to appeal to participants in the social media. Let's focus on the demand for good governance and not these things. These are diversionary. They will be abusing themselves. All kinds of things will go up and down. This is not, leave them, let them do whatever it is. Let us just focus on the demand for good governance and to make our lives better. Because this is a spin that has gone around 2 rounds. It's going to make anybody dizzy. How does it sound to you?
Okay, Jimi, he said, quote, the representative said, quote, the entire presidential fleet is okay for now.
How does he know?
For now. He says it is not, and they are still investigating. He said it is not the issue of either to repair or not, or to think of getting new ones. All that we know is that as a country, our position on global policy, we need something that will represent our image.
Guys are preparing
our image, because our pride will show how Nigeria is.
I know one of your listeners who always calls you with every sentence. It says Kofi. I think it's from Igbo Eleni. So Kofi, this is a spin. The government wants to buy. They feel they have a need to buy a new aircraft, and they'd rather not push it forward to the public. Let it come from the. This is an old spin now. Kofi, you're supposed to know.
Government magic.
Kofi, you're supposed. This is government magic. Any other story there?
All right, so we have more minimum wages also taking space on the front.
Yes,
page of,
the minimum wage. I heard that there's a story there that says there's a deadlock between labor. Can they please end this ding dong and come out with a figure? Because the focus is on figure, the focus is not on value. I think I've said this before, and having been involved, you see, again, one is talking from experience. I got to Dodgy all be it 3 months, but I was paid the dodgy, we were paid double salary. Nigeria never recovered from that move. Okay, so if at 54,000 there's still an argument you see, some people would naively say that, oh, this is the cost of Gari today, this is the cost of whatever it is tomorrow. One thing I can tell you for free is that the moment that minimum wage moves up, all things go up likewise. In leaps and bounds.
Again.
Let me repeat what I said. The moment that minimum wage goes up, you don't need to be an economist to think it out. You don't need to be. If we have a messenger here who is on 15,000 or 30,000, and tomorrow we now have to pay him 54,000, our advert rates will go up. It's just simple. So I would have thought that we would have used this taking advantage of the situation to see how we can give value back to workers. And a few things come to my mind. I'm not a labor expert, I'm not an economist, but a few things come to my mind. If I was Lagos State, for example, I'd be saying, okay, I have to increase the salary of my workers. So what do? I don't want just to add money that would be meaningless. Okay, I'm going to give all my workers cowrie cards. Those cowrie cards are giving free access. So they have a subsidy of free, because there's nothing bad in subsidy. Don't let anybody kid you. It's the way we have handled subsidies that has gone completely haywire. All over the world, some things are subsidized. So I'm just saying this as a suggestion. I haven't thought it out properly. But I say, okay, my Lagos State workers, I'm going to give you cowrie cards. Lagos State workers, complete health, whatever. Just, things that are of value that would make them have to spend less cash. Clear a whole, Lagos State has land all over, clear a whole and have a civil servants village where you can give each one of them a plot. Look at Shagari village. Shagari is something in Ikpaja. During Shagari's time, the UPN with their propaganda were calling them hen houses. There's a Shagari village in Ikpaja.
Oh.
And what Shagari did was to allocate half plots. Yes, because it's not for the, it was like half plots, not full plots.
It's not Gowan Estate.
No, it's not Gowan Estate. It's Shagari Estate. Yes, not Shagari Village. Shagari Estate. So they gave them half plots and built a one room apartment there. Go to Shagari now. It was meant for the poor, for those who, like I'd say, local. It was supposed to be low cost. That's the correct word. Go to Shagari now. People were able to expand it to 2-bedroom, to 3-bedroom, and now it's become a full-blown estate. Wow. The UPN that were making fun of them, look at the houses they built in Ikpori and all these other places. You see, so it takes some thinking. You need to think deep and not just throw money at the people. Because when you throw money, if you increase the salary beyond reason, you are devaluing your currency, is the value. Then, secondly, you need to close the gap between the top and the bottom. How can you, in the same system, be buying a car of 160 something million when other people do not even have any car loan? You need to narrow down. That's what you need to do. All the perks and whatever of political office holders and so on and so forth, you need to narrow it down and put it in some kind of alignment to curtail inflation, because there are some people who earn salaries in this country. And apart from those salaries, the perks that they also have that goes with it is almost about 1 million times what the ordinary man has. So you have a senator, for example, who amongst the humongous monthly salary is driving a 160,000 naira car, 160 million naira car. The driver earns only 30,000 minimum wage.
Income inequality.
The income inequality. So that's where the problem lies. And I thought that we'd use this opportunity to align ourselves, but as usual, the politicians always want to throw something at you. They throw the pigeon, what do they call it? They want to throw something at you and everybody will jubilate. In less than 2 weeks, you know that you have nothing.
Jimi, I have a question for you.
And sorry, yes. Yeah. And I honestly believe that the labor union is complicit in this.
So it is not a drama they're acting.
It's a drama. I think it's a drama.
Okay.
They know where exactly going. Yeah, you wanted to
you can just act like you're angry. Say you reject. Say
We've seen it. Look, if you, I don't know where you were during the petrol subsidy riots that have taken place. The Ojota subsidy riots that taking place. It turned out later that those who benefit from this. Who benefited from this petrol subsidy something were those who sponsored the. I know some people who owned petroleum companies that sponsored some of the that were present at some of this thing in a national spirit. Yeah. As soon as we fell for it, they cleaned out completely.
Wow. It was just a script.
I'm going to say this again, and I'll catch a lot of flack, but I'll continue to say it. I hope the elite will not sink this country. I just hope so. I hope the elite, they keep widening the gap. They keep throwing all kinds of things, at the common people. And we lap it up. The common people themselves now, instead of facing those who are making their lives unbearable, would rather take money from them to haul at those who want to make their lives better. That's why people like you and I come in. Then they go at you with everything, falsehood and so on and so forth. So this whole exercise, if it goes on like this without a total review, look at now, they want to review the salary of judges. They've been this. I don't have anything against judges. And I remember somebody saying in the newspapers yesterday that if judges are not well paid, there will be problem. It is not only judges. If doctors are not well paid, there will be problem. You haven't well paid doctors. Well, the country is void of its very good doctors. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I was hoping that they do a complete overhaul, but this exercise that we have, I'm not looking forward to. Definitely not.
Uncle Jimi, you made a very important point. You're stressing that there are other, non-cash incentives. And
yes.
But Uncle Jimi, I want to ask you, these things have been done before. For instance, Shopee, and they all went, nowhere.
No, I don't. I'm not saying disbursing any form of cash. That one is the fraudulent nature of our people doesn't allow that. So I'm not talking about things like Shopee. All those Shopee things
was transportation. They got buses.
No. What I'm saying is, like I said now, if you give every civil servant a cowrie card, okay, if a civil servant has an ID card, that ID card could be used as a cowrie card, could be used in the general hospital, okay, could be used when paying NEPA bill. So for me, it's adding value. It's not throwing cash at it. That's where my emphasis is adding value. I know the cash is low, but I'd rather concentrate on the value than the amount.
Interestingly, the Vanguard tells us that no governor was present at yesterday's meeting.
Because most of the governors know. Most of the governors, after putting their hands in the cookie jar, their associates, there's very little to pay salaries. I said this thing with Sheriff here one day, that the politicians we have in Nigeria, if each one of them in a position thinks that he or she needs $10 million, they will go after. If the money is not in the treasury, they will borrow that money and pass the responsibility to the state or to federal. That's the way they are wired. That they will not dip their hands in the cookie jar is impossible. It's impossible. You would want to find out how much cash every governor has at his disposition and how it is disbursed on a daily basis. Oh, Chief, so is yes. If I leave moto, this for moto, 2 million, 3 million. That's the way it goes. You heard in Dume now. It is on record that a senator of the Federal Republic in Dume said, that yes, there is corruption, but that, listen to this, but that it is in conjunction with the people. How can a senator of the Federal Republic admit that they are Robin Hoods? Even Robin Hood, in the fable that we read, in the stories that we read, he stole from the rich to, he stole from the rich to poor. In the case of our own Nigerians, our politicians steal from the state and pay tithes to the poor. They don't give it to the poor. They give you 5% and pocket the rest. I remember my good friend Alaji of blessed memory when he said this particular politician, I said, look, let me leave that story. Look at now what the government has done. How many billion to those who are going for Hajj?
90 billion.
That's
minus state governments.
Minus the state government. That's the same old story, same old song.
It's crazy. All right, could we look at some more stories? But that's in the background. We're told no governor was there, not even one single governor. And Labour says it's going on strike on May 31.
No, they're not going on any strike. Forget that. No, don't lose any sleep over that.
Okay. You know your people. All right, there's a comment here on Facebook. Raphael Adegoke says Nigeria is a sad scenario. Okay, someone is giving you some kudos here. Oguntola Sherday says it's not a matter of statistics, it's a matter of sensible economic planning and strategy by people who supposedly know what they are talking about. Okay, so that's something maybe regarding what you told the government they should do. Let me just go over the stories again on the front page of Vanguard. Petrol marketers fret as depot price rises to 710 naira per litre in Lagos.
Well, that's not surprising. If your exchange rate is up, it stands to reason. So petrol will keep going up and down like a yo-yo. It's market forces.
Crazy. It's crazy. I see some queues still, here
and the government knows that they can keep pushing you. In other countries, some other countries it can't be done, but they keep pushing you from 96 naira to how much now? To almost like 500-600.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're lapping it up. So why not push you further?
600. Some parts 800.
Yes. Why not push you further? Only for the government to have that kind of residual revenue, and then you fritter it away by subsidizing pilgrimages and so on and so forth. Very sad.
All right. Another one on the front page of Vanguard. The CBN governor Edo. So is it Edo or Edo?
Edun.
Sorry. Because you didn't take me for that Malapati. It's Edun.
Hey,
okay.
Edun.
So Edun says reforms will eliminate waste and corruption. So probably talking about the economic...
well, he has a job to do and he wants to appear to be doing it. So let's just see. For me, bottom line is, what is the fate of the average Nigerian in all this? It's not a matter of Turenchi. What is the fate? What can the Nigerian put on the table to eat? What kind of medical whatever does he have? It's not about every day there's one policy or the other that is churned out. If I was going to pick the news for today, I wouldn't even have touched that one.
But he says there's no magic wand.
Well,
there's no magic wand.
Yes,
no magic
well, that is a very good excuse for non-performance.
I'm not a magician.
Yes, it's not a magician. It's a very good. It's a very good excuse for non-performance. But I agree with him. There's no magic.
My children take some lessons online. This is how our days used to go.
Daddy, my screen is frozen. Dad!
Dad this, Dad that. That's my poor connection cue. But today, I celebrate an end to these frustrations thanks to MTN 5G broadband. Now, lessons, family times, streaming our favorite shows, all working from home are the easiest. Get on the train. Thank me later.
My daddy is the best in the whole wide world.
Because every second matters, you can do so much in a day with MTN 5G broadband. Create, connect, and keep winning with MTN 5G broadband. Visit shop.mtn.ng.
Is your heart racing because your MTN line is blocked? You can't make calls. You can't receive calls. Not even text messages. Nothing at all? What about bank alerts? All these happened because you haven't linked your NIN to your MTN line. Unblock your MTN line today by linking it to your NIN. Rush to any nearby MTN store or agent. If you don't have your NIN yet, no problem. Simply go to any nearby NIMC office to get your NIN. MTN. What are we doing today?
Okay, we have to go on, Kujubi. Thanks so much, very kindly, for your time this morning. And he's laughing at me.
Kofi no one die.
I don't go die. Maybe I'll live to 100.
I'll see you at 9.
Yes. What we're talking about 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock we have a new. The Debumi is taking a new turn at 9 o'clock. So just wait and see.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. Let's take the news at 8 o'clock, and then we'll continue with the morning crossbar.
It's 8 o'clock. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.